So we're standing out here in the wilderness. We have just decided to take a day off and do a little day trip down to Lake Powell. It's one of our favorite places. Behind us are the red sandstone rocks as we approach coral pink sand dunes. But there's a lot going on down at Lake Powell, and we'll share with you some of those things as we go. But we wanted you to see some of the beautiful scenery where we are, and this is kind of a narrow little canyon that leads to coral pink sand dunes. We miss coral pink.
Yes, I love riding coral pink, especially on quads.
Oh, we had years of doing that.
Oh, yes.
We'll stop at the sand dunes and give you another look at an overlook at the place that we have loved so much and that we don't do anymore. But it is a fond memory. So we're going to climb back in the car and head to Coral Pink, and we'll stop there. So this is beautiful coral pink sand dunes. And we have been all through that area with our four-wheelers, and we took our first little side-by-side blue here to ride, and it's just not the same in a side-by-side, is it, Jim?
No, not at all.
Jim. So it just goes on and on and on. Lots of fun riding.
When we started this years ago, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, we were allowed by the park to come out and ride. And there were just tons of people everywhere. And it was summer, it was fall, sometimes it was winter. But the past few years we've found that it's become less used. It's a beautiful park. The sand dunes are fabulous to ride.
Oh,
thoroughly enjoyable.
We miss it.
And I see some tracks here and there, but not like it was when we were here.
No, but this is a stop on our way to the lake. There are a couple of different ways we can go to the lake, and we like to sometimes drive through coral pink sand dunes. So we're now going to get back in our car and head to our next stop. So we are stopped at a little pullout here. We're having a little snack. We've got some veggies. We have some cheese sticks that Jim is peeling. So we're just going to have a little break and then continue our trip. So we are having a late lunch at a Mexican restaurant. It is absolutely delightful. The booths are amazing. And this is pico de gallo. It's the best I've ever tasted. My gosh, it is just fantastic. The tables are all decorated. What is the name of this restaurant?
Tapatio.
Tapatio. Okay, thank you. So there you have it. There's where we are. So this is lunch. Are you kidding me? There's Jim's burrito.
Yes.
So here we are. And this is in Page, Arizona, right by the dam. So we were pretty hungry when we arrived, and so we came straight up into Page for lunch. And now we are heading back down toward the dam. And we can tell you that this is the lowest we have ever seen this water. This is an extremely dry winter that we are having. The ski resorts up north are really struggling because there's hardly been any snow at all. And right now it's 56 degrees right here, so you can see how dry it is.
And it's the middle of January.
It is, it's the middle of January. So you can see the dam right down there. We're going to be stopping at the visitor center so we'll get a better look. But we're going to be crossing the bridge here in just a minute. And this place is deserted. In the summertime, the traffic is terrible. But in the middle of January, there's about 3 or 4 cars parked at the big hotels, and the restaurants are not slammed. So it's very pleasant coming here in January.
but disappointing because the water is so low.
Yes. Oh, heartbreaking. We'll tell you a little bit more about the huge dispute that's going on down here when we get to the visitor center. This is Arizona, my home state. I was born in Prescott, so it's dear to my heart. In fact, I remember when they first started construction on this dam. In my very early years, I remember it. Okay, so here we go. All right, I'm looking down at the canyon. This is Glen Canyon Dam. You can see a little bit of water down there. You can also see the huge bathtub ring all the way around. The water has fallen just this past year 36 feet. Pretty incredible. So we'll stop right here at the visitor center.
Okay, you can't climb on the wall.
Lots of warning, stay off the wall. Okay, we will. So, there's the dam. Actually, I'm going to...
I was going to say, if we want to get a better picture of it, we can go over there. And, well, can't really see down there, can we?
This is the lowest I have ever seen the water. You can see how high the water used to be, and it has dropped 36 feet, as I said, just this past year. So here's what's happening here. The dam was built to serve 7 states. There are 2 basins in the Colorado River Basin. There's the upper basin, which includes the states of, what was it, Jim? Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, New Mexico. And their advantage is that the headwaters are there. Then there's the lower basin, California, Nevada, and Arizona. Yeah.
And Utah.
No.
You didn't say
Utah's in the upper one.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm
in the northern one, where
right.
the headwaters are there.
Okay.
And when the agreements for usage of water were first put forward, the river was pretty predictable in terms of its rate of flow year after year after year. Well, that has slowed way, way down over the past decade, and now it's getting quite critical. And there are also 30 Native American tribes who have water rights as well that have not been honored, that are also coming to the table to negotiate. And with the dropping of the level of water, they have been trying for several years to come to new agreements based on dry years and the drought. And the critical thing is that if the water drops another 100 feet, the hydroelectric power will not work. And it generates a lot of electricity, and we'll look at those towers in just a few minutes. But all 3 entities, the upper basin, the lower basin, and the Native American tribes, are trying to come to some kind of an agreement. This is operated under the Department of the Interior, particularly I don't know if it's a Department of Reclamation or...
Yeah, that sounds right.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Under the Department of Interior operates the water here. And with competing needs and clashing needs, it has been terribly difficult. All of the entities were given until the end of 2025 to come up with an agreement, and they didn't meet the goal. And so now the new goal is in February, and the federal government has threatened to step in and solve the problem for everybody. And nobody wants that, so they're meeting again and trying to come to an agreement. And what is at risk is that all up and down the flow of this river, there has been a lot of things that were built, towns and farms and infrastructure. All of those things are at risk if the water falls to too low of a level. The biggest interest goes, of course, to California, but everyone feels like they need to have their needs met, and coming up with a percentage or some kind of an agreement on the risks. Everyone wants to share the risks, but nobody can agree on what those risks are and how much their particular interests are at risk. So it's going to be quite an interesting few months to see what happens down here. Meanwhile, the water is so low that we'll go down to the main marina, the Wahweap Marina, and I have a brother and a sister who both have houseboats down there, and the boat ramp has been closed since August of 25, and they're now saying that unless we get more water this winter, it's going to remain closed for the summer, which would really put a snarl on the amazing summer use down here. So anyway, I have loved this place all my life, and it is a beautiful, beautiful place, and part of my heart is here, and so it is going to be really interesting to see what happens. So where are we? What's our next stop? Wahweap?
Yep. Inside the recreation area itself.
Oh yeah, we go down through the recreation area.
We have to go through the recreation area. We have to show our senior card.
That's right, because we're seniors, we get in free. One advantage to being our age. So we'll head on down there. First, we'll stop in the parking lot and take a look at the huge electrical
Grid?
installation. Yeah, the grid.
That's what I'm going to call it.
It's a substation or the station or the something. So we'll go back through and check on that.
It's a station.
So Jim, do you want to interpret the graph? You found it. What do you see?
Basically, we're talking about the water levels and the drops from 1966 until 2004.
So the dam was finished then in 1966. So I was 12 years old.
12? Uh-huh. Thought you were older than me. I was 12. So you were 12 in 66?
I was born in 44. No, I was 22.
No, you were 22. I'm thinking, no, there was something wrong.
They started when I was about 12.
Okay, all right.
So,
So again, we're talking about the idea of 1966 at 35.50.
These are 10 years outdated. It
Yeah,
really
they
doesn't
are.
show the
But it does
prices.
show the dropping levels.
Yeah.
All the
And
way
this
to
one shows what the water is used for. 70% agriculture, industrial 22, domestic 8, and then some facts.
Here is a picture of what it looked like before.
Yeah, it's still, you
It's
can still
still-
see the bathtub ring there.
Yeah,
That's 04, so it was already starting to drop
Yeah.
by 04. Rated one. Full pool is 3,700 feet. Today it's 35, so it is 25% full. And so here's a different look inside this. Oh my gosh, makes me dizzy just to look down there. Wow.
looks like something out of James Bond.
Yeah, it does.
And I'll fly over.
I don't know if you can see the electrical from here.
I don't think so. We'll have to
It's
go
more around
outside.
the corner.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can. So there they are. We'll go outside and look at them.
Yeah, look at the guy wires for the towers.
Yeah. So We're going to take a journey along the Colorado River as it travels 1,450 miles from the Rocky Mountains in Colorado to the Gulf of California in Mexico.
Oh, that's right.
That's a great shot.
Is that Horseshoe Bend?
It's already dropped from there.
Yeah, they have a date on this, probably.
I don't see anything. Okay. So that was our journey. Let's go look at the electrical. Better view of the electrical.
And that's Paige in the background.
Yes, up on the hill, where we had the best lunch ever. So here we are. There's the power. You can see it all along the crest of the hill there, on its way to California. What we're hearing is this little fountain right over here. Okay, off to Wahweap. So here are some pictures of the water near Wahweap Marina. In the summertime, we would be seeing several houseboats down in there. And out there, and in the distance, you can see where some of the houseboats are parked. We'll be down there in just a moment.
So we're at a lookout point for Wahweap, and just giving you an idea of all the houseboats that are out there. A number, anyway, I don't know how many, but probably 50 or 60 or 70 are $1 million boats. And we've got one out there right now that is in the middle of the channel going someplace. We don't know if it's going back into the marina itself or other parts of the marina or other parts of the lake. And Pam said she has a brother and a sister who have houseboats, and they're down there somewhere. But again, this is what we have right now, and a lot of the land that you see that's exposed. 15 years ago when we were down here was not visible, and that's how much the water has dropped over the years. Some of the rangers have stated is that there are islands that have appeared because of the water drop that weren't there before, and there was one channel that goes to the other side of the lake that is no longer there because of the water drop, and you have to go a different kind of route to get to that particular side of the lake. But again, this is basically what we have for the lake. This is the marina itself, and let's see if I can get a better view of it. There we go. And again, there are just hundreds of boats, and again, many of them probably well over $1 million. And a few years ago, there was a massive fire on one part of the marina, and a number of the houseboats went up. That, and with the dropping of the lake, it's just been horrendous.
Everything is closed. The parking lots are deserted. You should see this place in the summer. There's not a place to even stop. All right, we are driving down the boat ramp, which is closed, as you can see at the end. They have the barriers. Just how far down are you going to go, Jim?
Well, I'm going to go down to the ramps and see if we can see how far down
But the drop-off
where the
is?
drop-off is.
There's the marina over there with all those lovely boats. They're huge. And we would be underwater in,
By
what,
now.
2 years ago, 3 years
Yeah.
ago, we would be underwater here. It says emergency and authorized vehicles only, so maybe we better be careful.
No parking.
So we're at the end of the ramp. There's dirt right there on the other side of those barriers. So there are about 15, maybe 20 of these big old houseboats dry docked here for the season. You can see the slide coming off of that one, and you can see where those little buoys are. That would be water
Yachts.
level. So I'm going to just walk over there so you can get an idea of just exactly how gigantic these things are. So this is me against this boat. And I am 5'4". So
Well
they
done.
are monstrous. And this is about the regular size of them too. You should see some of the really big ones. So as we leave the Glen Canyon area, water used to be clear out to here. We used to come in and be able to see little pieces of it right down there in that low spot. So we love coming down here, but it makes us sad every time we see how low the water is. So we are headed for home. Glad you could come along with us on this little jaunt. It was a wonderful day, Jim. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you were willing to come with me. Otherwise, I was going to come by myself.
You were not. Honestly, sometimes you just tell the biggest fibs ever.
I don't lie.
So thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you soon for more videos.